This is the book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that in Garzam of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash, Kalim La, Alahayna wa Abanawa Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. I want to go into all praise to our power, our Father Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elect elders of Israel that rule well. Strong salutations to your brothers out there that labor in sound doctrine and sincerity. Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, Barakatum Sofelek. And peace, blessings, salutations to the house of David, the elect. And I'm going to read this again from the top. This is the book of 2nd Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 1. And it reads, it says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that in Garzam of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. All right, Khan. So I'm going to start right there. And I'm going to explain. So me opening up with these scriptures is me talking about how in an ancient world during the time of Maccabees, how they force or they force an influence on our people, their ideology, all right, their idols, their idolatry, their wicked way of life on us, and it still affects us to this day. All right, and I'm gonna go into it, and I'm gonna play this video real quick, and it's all gonna make sense. I'm gonna bring it all together.
Even today, the Great Pyramid of Giza has 2,300,000 stones in it. They weigh between 2 and 80 tons. Some of them are cut from a quarry that's hundreds of miles away. That pyramid is shaped perfectly. Like, if you fucked up like a quarter inch there, a half inch here, by the time you get to the top, that thing's a mess. But meanwhile, it's not. It's perfect. It's also perfectly aligned to true north, south, east, and west. And they're not really sure how old it is. They date it to 2,500 BC, but that's just because of organic particles that they pulled from inside stones. But they also say that they probably could have sealed those stones and resealed those stones over time. So if there was a civilization, and let's assume there was, that was thousands of years old in Egypt, that was capable of doing things that we're not capable of doing today, what kind of technology were they working with?
That's what I'm saying.
We really don't know what those people were
doing. Boom. All right, so I had seen this video. This was yesterday. I was watching this video, and he talking about the Pyramid of Giza, which is still standing today. And if you know anything about the Pyramid of Giza, is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Is actually the only one that's still standing to this day. And I decided, because I already know about the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and I decided, okay, let me. I just wanted to touch bases and read up on it again. And so while I'm doing my reading, right. I got this little article. It's called, I'm reading. It's Education, National Geographic. All right. So it says 7 wonders of the ancient world. So I read about the Great Pyramid of Giza. And I have my thoughts and opinions, just like these other guys do, just like the guy Joe Rogan. All right. So I'm just reading. And I see the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. I'm familiar with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon as well. I'm familiar with the Pyramid of Giza and the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. I read through these things, but I didn't remember some of them. And then I had really wanted to read the Statue of Zeus, because I started to think about how you got this, thing, with the Greeks, how they worship Zeus. Pretty much Esau, who, Edomites, they went by different titles, different, because they wasn't the original Greeks, the original Greeks were the Japhetic people. So, Esau, he's a vagabond. He goes in these different nations, and he pretty much take on their gods. So Zeus is like the Edomite Most High. So I like, wait a minute, let me read upon this, because things are going, because the truth is getting out there, So I'm like, wait a minute, I want to read upon this, the statue of Zeus. So I said, let me read it. So I found something interesting that's pretty much that's relevant today. And I'm gonna just read this. It says, statue of Zeus. It says, it took the most renowned sculptor of the ancient era, Phidias, to create a statue worthy of celebrating the fabled god of Zeus. Housed in the temple of Zeus at Olympia and Western Greece, the statue shows Zeus seated on a throne crusted in gold, precious gems, ivory, and ebony. Zeus held a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in his right hand, a scepter topped with an eagle. Check that out. A scepter topped with an eagle was in his left hand. All right. And I'm going to keep reading. It says, many of those who gazed upon a 12-meter, 40-foot statue commented that the proportion of Zeus inside the temple were off, regardless the statue was rare. Okay, that's something different. It said, that field perished by with awe until it was destroyed in an earthquake in the 5th century. So it was destroyed. So the Lord destroyed that statue. All right. But what I want to focus on, it says, Zeus held a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in his right hand. A scepter topped with the eagle was in his left hand. So I'm going to read this scripture again, what I just read. 2 Maccabees chapter 6, it says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers. Right? So it was a man so it's an Athenian. It was a Greek man, right? Not so what king was, I believe it was King Antiochus, if I'm not mistaken. Right. 2 Maccabees 5:1 says, about the same time Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. Right, so this is King Antiochus. So 2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 1 says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, right, and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, right, the holy temple, right, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. Now, if you know anything about Greek and Rome, you would know that pretty much they have the same gods, but the names are different. So you would have Zeus, all right, Zeus for Greek, but in Rome is Jupiter, right? You would have Diana, I believe it's Diana, and what's the other girl name? Artemis. Yeah, you have Diana and Artemis. So Diana would be what, Rome, and Artemis would be I believe it's Greek, if I'm not mistaken. Or it can be, it's flip-flop basically. And then you would have Helos and Apollo. So pretty much the Greek and Rome, they share the same gods, but they got different names. That's why they like Greco-Rome, because they pretty much they do the same shit. It's the same people that both, that Edomite kingdoms, man, Greek and Rome. All right. So it says, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. So basically they call it the temple of Zeus. And that it says, and that in Garzum of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, right? The defender of strangers, right? Strange people. And as they did desire that dwell in a place. It says the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, besides they brought in things that were not lawful. It says the altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth, and neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Just like you see today with Kanye, with Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, and other Israelites other Israelites that are famous with fame, with money in the society, that have influence. When they come out and say that they Israelites, so we the real Jews, it's deemed as what? It's deemed as quote unquote anti-Semitic by the small hatters, by the Amalekites, all right, by the so-called Jewish people, all right, if you will, all right, their biblical names are Amalekites, right? So this what we see today is biblical, man, and it goes all the way back to history. It goes all the way back to the time of the Maccabees, man. All right. So like I said, and I'm gonna prove my point when I said Zeus is Jupiter, because they're pretty much the same guys, all right? So we read on the statue of Zeus is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, right? And another thing, in his right hand, right? Zeus had a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in his right hand. So let's keep that in mind as well. All right. So I got a depiction of Jupiter Olympus, right? Which is Zeus. All right, Jupiter Olympus, the same statue. And let's go to Zeus, the statue of Zeus. All right, statue of Zeus, right here, boom. Same thing. All right, you can't make this up. Is that a coincidence? No. All right, that's the same idol, the same deity, if you will. All right. So Jupiter is Zeus. Zeus is Jupiter. All right. So we got that established. So Zeus is actually in the scriptures in the Maccabees. It's the Maccabees, also in Acts, if you will, because Jupiter is Zeus. So let's read this again. So let's get this reiterated. I want this integrated. All right. Integrated in the minds of the listeners. It says, house in the temple of Zeus at Olympia in Western Greece. The statue shows Zeus. Okay, here's the key point. The statue, right, which is the head, the chief god, or the chief Greek god, right, Zeus, shows Zeus seated on a throne crested in gold, precious gems, ivory, ebony. Zeus held a statue of Nike. Now, who is Nike? All right, Nike is this Greek deity right here, in his right hand, right here. That's Nike, the wing with the wings and the crown in their hand. All right, that's Nike, in Zeus's right hand. All right, Zeus held a statue of Nike, the goddess of victory, in his right hand. All right, now let's read upon her. All right, because only a fool would say, well, that has no meaning. That, wait a minute, because you got to think about it. If you haven't been living under a rock, you will understand that it's a brand called Nike, and it's global and it's big. And a lot of your favorite, if you're into sports, a lot of your favorite athletes are sponsored by Nike. They promote Nike. Nike is in a whole bunch of advertisement. Nike is known for, everything. Nike is everywhere. All right. So, and me knowing this in the past, that, okay, because I remember hearing that Nike was some type of Greek god, but now I got the actual chance to go into it, and it's pretty much relevant and prevalent to this day, because you have athletes like Kyrie Irving who had contracts with Nike, and we're gonna get into that. All right, who had contracts with Nike, which was pretty much dissolved, cut off, because he posted a documentary which was deemed anti-Semitic to the people in power. It's pretty much exposing the lies that's been going on, all right, in this society, in this current world that's being ruled by these elites, man. So let's read upon this. It says, the ancient Greek goddess Nike, it says, representing victory and speed, inspired the Nike company logo. Right, you got the logo, right, the swoosh, right, and we're gonna get into that. But also, let's, one might say, well, where'd that logo come from? It come from this. All right, here you have it. You have the Nike goddess. All right, and this is the actual statue in Ephesus. All right, and in Ephesus also, just like you got with the Church of Ephesus, a lot of things was going on in Ephesus during the time of Maccabees, during the time of Yahushua, after Yahushua was going, during the time of the apostles. A lot of things were going on in the time of Ephesus. You also got the temple of Artemis. All right, you got you got a temple. Just like you got a temple of Zeus, you got a temple of another Greek goddess. So a lot of things was going on in Ephesus. And here you have in Ephesus, the Nike goddess with the actual sign. You might think of where that sign come from. Well, here go the sign right here. All right, this is where that sign actually comes from, man. All right, this is where that sign comes from, and it's all relevant. You say, well, why does this even matter? Because before I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm gonna read this. All right, I'm gonna read this. It says, I searched how did Greeks worship Nike because she's a Greek goddess, right? And with guys and goddesses, you worship them. This is what they did. They worshiped their gods and goddesses. So I said, how do they worship them? So it says, how is Nike related to Greek mythology? Nike was the winged goddess of victory. It says athletes who wanted to win worshiped her, right? So just like you had Israelites participating in Greek activity. So just like there's nothing new under the sun. So you had our athletes who worship Nike, man. If they wanted to win, matter of fact, to prove that. All right, let me go into I'm gonna go into Second Maccabees. What it is? And it's the first chapter. I think I highlighted it. Was it the first chapter or the second chapter, Salaki? Might have been First Maccabees, if I'm not mistaken. Because I was reading through here earlier. Okay, here we go. All right. And I'm not going to read all of this. I want to get to the specific point. All right. So I think I'm going to just start from 41 and read to 43. All right, and make it a quick hitter. First Maccabees 1 and 41, it says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Right? Meaning what? They all be one-minded. They all do the same thing. All right. Remember, King Antiochus was a Macedonian descent, right? Of Greek descent with Greek customs, with strange customs, not our customs. It says, and everyone should leave his laws, right? So all heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. It says, many also of the Israelites considered to his religion. Read it again. It says, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificing to idols. Right? One of the idols was Nike. And profaned the Sabbath. Right? Because if here you have it, they'll probably be doing things of their own pleasure. They'll probably be doing things to worship these different idols on the Sabbath. Right? So I'm going to read that again. First Maccabees 1 and 43 says, many also the Israelites consented to his religion. Who religion? King Antiochus' religion. The same person who did what? Who sent that man of Athens, right, to profane the temple and called it the temple of Jupiter Olympia. Same thing. The Olympics come from what? Olympia, the Mount Olympia, or the Olympus. All right, where what? Where the Greeks believe where their gods dwelt at. It was the highest peak, the highest mountain in Europe, right? In Central Macedonia. So I'm gonna read it again because this is big, this is heavy, man. Because right now, the sports world play a huge part, all right, in influence of Jake right now. All 12 tribes. The sports world play a huge part, and Nike is everywhere in the sports world, man. All right, First Maccabees 1 and 43. It says, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. All right, and one of those religions was Nike. Sports, gymnasium. Which the word gymnasium means to train naked. All right, all this stuff go back to satanic pagan worship, man. All right, First Maccabees 1 and 43. It says, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. There you have it, man. All right. So it says Nike. It says, so how did Greeks worship Nike? Nike was the winged goddess of victory. Athletes who wanted to win worshipped her. All right. It says Nike code and worship. Nike had several codes throughout Greece, and warriors never faced battle without first praying and offering sacrifices to the goddess. You see that? It says her principal place of worship. Let me read that. Read that slow. Her principal place of worshiping was Athens, and we're gonna read that as well. All right. Then second Matthew. Let's read that again. I'm just read that little part. It got to click, man. Make it all click. Second Maccabee chapter 6 verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens, right? An old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from their laws. So depart from the Bible. So they're saying depart from the Bible. All right, the legislation of the Heavenly Father. Depart from that. All right, and not to live after the laws of the Most High, right? And to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem and call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. The same temple, all right, the same, or the statue where the main temple is, right? Where he has in his right hand the goddess Nike. Oh, you see there? It says Nike has several coasts throughout Greece, and warriors never faced battle without first praying and offering sacrifices to the goddess. Her principal place of worshiping was Athens, and her depictions and statues there show her without wings. Boom. So we're gonna read more. We're gonna read more upon this, this Nike, right? So let's get to the point. I want to hurry up and get to the point. Boom, let's read this. It says, to understand the meaning of the Nike logo, we should look to the ancient Greeks and their deity, Nike, the actual goddess of victory, often portrayed with wings. The Greek goddess also wears sandals of gold. And besides victory, her two other main associations are strength and speed. Her counterpart in Roman mythology might ring a bell even better. That is the goddess Victoria, right? Because pretty much they're the same thing, but different names. Nike might not be the most famous of all the Greek deities, but her role is nonetheless significant compared to the other figures as grand as Zeus or Athena. Right, Zeus and Athena are the main Greek gods, the man and the woman. The legends tell how Nike developed a close relationship with both of these deities. See, that's important. I'm read it again. The legends tell how Nike developed a close relationship with both of these deities. Right? It says, in mythological episodes that narrate the Great Titan Wars, the conflict after which the Olympians, right, all right, they're known as the Olympians, man. All right, it should all click. The Olympians, the Olympics, the sports world. I mean, this is like it's like the sports world. What these people are doing is like a ritual to commemorate these Greek gods and goddesses, man. It says, the conflicts after which the Olympians led by Zeus take over control of the world from the infamous Titans. It says Nike comes on the side of Zeus, and she helps him by being his principal chariot driver. Wait a minute. It says Nike comes on the side of Zeus, right, or Jupiter, right, and she helps him by being his principal chariot driver. So you gotta look at it like this way: the sports world today, the athletes today, in the professional sports world today, whether you got football, basketball, baseball, soccer, hockey, wherever it's big at, you best believe your Nike got their hands getting their profits, getting their money there. So, and then you got the Olympics. So the sports world today, like the athletes, they worship Nike, man. Like our people promote Nike big. But you have like the sports world, they play a key part. Like the sports world is a key economic platform or plateau or level in this society, man. It's a $1 trillion it's a $1 trillion market. It says Nike comes on the side of Zeus, and she helps him by being his principal chariot driver. Now, a chariot driver, you have a chariot, and somebody driving that chariot, meaning somebody that's moving. Like you got, how Jake said in the world, we got motion. I got stuff in motion. Well, Nike has things in motion for Zeus. The sports world has things in motions for the elites, man. You see how it says Nike comes on the side of Zeus, and she helps him by being his principal chariot driver, because these athletes, right, and who dominate the sports world, us, the Israelites. Why you think that what it was, King Antiochus sent a man of Athens? He sent him down to where? To where the Jews were, where the salt of the earth were. All right, because if I get these people to influence, then I get the whole world. Make it seem cool. But if anybody can make it seem cool, Jake can. The salt of the earth can. It says Nike comes on the side of Zeus and she helps him by being his principal chariot driver. Principal chariot driver, meaning meaning number one. All right. That's why she's in his right hand. All right. Nike, victory goddess. It says to reward her for the efforts. As soon as he comes to power, Zeus agrees to keep Nike always close to him. Right. Because you got to think about it. Why you got the whole quote unquote, this whole pandemic, all this stuff going on. The sports world, it never stopped. It might change a little, stuff might have changed, but think about it, it had never stopped because Nike still, according to these elites, Nike still plays a pivotal role until they don't need Nike no more, in a sense, man. So she still plays a pivotal role, man, right now in the society. All right, and it's to what? To keep the masses dumb, to keep the masses asleep. That's what the circus. You got the circus, what it was called, the Roman Colosseum, man. All right, they had these different Colosseums to keep the masses asleep, keep their brain preoccupied with folly, with entertainment. All right, distract them. It says to reward her for their efforts. As soon as he comes to power, Zeus agrees to keep Nike always close to him, offering her eternal protection. And don't for these you see these athletes, they play these sports for quote unquote Hall of Fame with these legends. For instance, like Shaq, they do their time in these sports, right? But then they always have something to fall back on. They always have like a job. They always have something to do. Like they got that safety net. Whether they want to be commentary, broadcast, whatever they want to do. All right, they got that safety net around them. Right? It's like they got it's their own club organization, man. Like you got the music industry, all right, with their vibrations and they casting spells on you. Then you got the sports industry, with their brand and marketing, their visuals to keep you asleep and entertain. So you got the Hollywood. It's different sects of the industry, man. It's different sects of the industry. So, but Nike is like the sports world is huge, man. If not bigger than music and Hollywood. All right, because remember Nike's at the right hand, man. It says Zeus agrees to keep Nike always close to him, offering an eternal protection, which is why in numerous representations, either in sculpture or painting, Nike can be noticed next to Zeus. It says one statue can be found at the Zeus temple in Attica. All right. It says there's also a sculpture representation of Athena, where she holds a smaller statue of Nike in one of her hands. The devotion to Nike among the ancient Greeks who believed she could strengthen their human capabilities can be further felt through domination of her figure on her Greek coins. When Nike is portrayed alone, it is an unwritten rule that she has wings as well as a palm branch, usually held in her right hand. In the case of the city of Athens, all right, this is big. This is key point. To see that. Remember, Athens keep popping up. All right, and that's the same place where you got the whole, not to jump off topic, but that's the same place where the guy who ran from the Battle of Marathon 25 miles back to the city of Athens to say what he said, Nike, which meant what? Victory. All right, and they say he collapsed and died, man. Right? That whole, when they beat Persia, that's what all this Nike Marathon, this was this stuff come from, man. It says, and this is where they put their trust in. They put their trust in these guys, man. They might not tell you. They might say, well, Jesus Christ. No, man. Jesus Christ, Caesar Borgia is just like a front for Zeus, man. When you really get into it, all right. When you look at Caesar Borgia, right? Look up Jesus Christ, the white image, not the real image. All right, Caesar Borgia, and look at Zeus, man. All right, and Jesus is not his real name. All right. Who in the New Testament, his real name is Yahweh Shai, but Jesus, All right, that's like when they had Zeus for Zeus, man. All right, because they want to put they want to trick you, put the Siri on you, man. They saying one thing but saying the other. All right, they're really pagan. They're really heathens, and all right, these people are pagan worshipers, but they're not gonna tell you. They wouldn't tell you from. If they told you that, they wait a minute. If you niggas, y'all worship these, then how are y'all? Y'all not. Y'all don't believe in the Bible, man. All right, but they can't tell you that. They can't tell you that. They gotta falsify their lies. Like they gotta pretty much say they're here in the name of God. They're here in the name of the Bible, but they're not. All right. It says, in the case of the city of Athens, however, she is known with no wings, as the people of Athens worship her so much, right? The people of Athens worship her so much. So the people that are worshiping Nike the most were the people of Athens. And Athens is what? A city in Greece, right? It says they worship her so much and they never wanted Nike to abandon their city. So that man from Athens, of course he came with that. Of course, he came with Nike, which athletes, that's what this whole sports world is about, man. And it's deeper than just playing the actual sport, because it's not innocent like that. It's nothing wrong with playing the sport, but the sports world, that's the sports society, and the people at the top that's running it. It has everything to do with satanic, pagan rituals and worship. And the person that's at the top of that, or I'm gonna say the deity, the idol, one of the top idols at the top of that is Nike, man. All right, if you did not know. So here's a statue of the goddess Nike, right? It's more on this. It says, let me see. Can I read this? Let me see. Okay, boom. It says one of the most prominent sculptures depicting this deity is Nike, a summer thread dated to the period 424 and 203 BC, unearthed in 1863. It is now an acquisition of Louvre in Paris. It says one of the more beautiful depictions of Nike lurks in the ancient city of Ephesus in Turkey, where the athletic apparel logo can be easily noticed on Nike stone carvings. I just showed you that, and that's where. All right, here you go, in the ancient city of Ephesus in Turkey, where the athletic apparel logo can be easily noticed on a Nike stone carving as well. The oldest artifact showing Nike can be further seen on the Delos in Greek island, dated to sometime around 550 BC. So, and the one that they're talking about at Ephesus is this one, the one that everybody is pretty much familiar with, the swoosh logo. They call it swoosh, but it was this statue before it was a swoosh, man. All right. Here you have it, the Nike at Ephesus, man. All right. This is what it's all about. This is who, all right. More than likely, your favorite athletes, to get those big deals, to get that huge fame and those endorsements, all right, and those sponsorships, more than likely they have to bow down and do sacrifices to the goddess of the Nike, man. You have to bow down to these people that's running it, right? Because you got what, Kyrie Irving, right? Kyrie Irving. I look at Kyrie Irving and Nike top stores. You got Kyrie Irving wears Nikes after losing a sneaker deal. Why did he lose a sneaker deal? For quote unquote anti-Semitic statements, which he never stated nothing. He just posted a link to something that spoke the truth, which exposes their lies, man, to the people that's in power. All right. It says Nike co-founder. Let's read this. It says, I'm just reading the title. It says Nike co-founder says Kyrie Irving partnership is likely over. Right. Because again, these societies go by different rules and regulations. These societies go by different rules and regulations. They have rituals that you got to go by. Kyrie Irving is a huge basketball player, a huge basketball superstar, man. All right. He has a shoe deal with Nike. Not anybody can just get a shoe deal with Nike, man. So for him to like be associated with the truth, or even on that type of level, what he did was big, man, because he has a huge influence. And not only that, it's like him breaking the code or him breaking the oath. All right, when you really understand what this thing is about, man. And there's more, man. What else I want to get into? All right, we went into that. Zeus is Jupiter. All right, the Romans regard Jupiter as the equivalent of Greek Zeus, so it's the same thing. All right, we got that understood. Let's see, did I read this? Okay, boom. Another thing I said that I wanted to read the connection between Nike, marathons, and ancient Greece. All right, and we also gonna get what it is. Just do it, I believe, where they get their slogan from in this article. All right, so let's get to the point. Boom. All right, it says, boom, I'm reading from, as the story goes, there were some Athenians that were paid off by the Persians to convince the Athenian city folk to surrender when the Persian ships arrived from around their cape. Right? It says because the Athenian army had been defeated at Marathon. This is what the historian who gave our walking tour said. If we are to assume no corruption, an alternate possibility is that the city fathers would immediately surrender the city to the Persian ships once they saw them coming. To avoid this and ensure that the word of victory reached Athens before the Persian ships re-entered the legend himself, Philippides, this is the person they said who ran at 26 miles, right? Despite having recently run 300 miles from Sparta, fighting all day in heavy armor, he was sent once again to run from Marathon back to Athens. It says, to give news of the Greek victory, a distance of 26 miles. It says, Philippides valiantly sprints back, reaches Athens. Assembly uses his last breath to exclaim, "We have won," or in Greek, Nikanikon, which I'm gonna just say Nike, before collapsing to his death from exhaustion. Because of his heroic run, right? Athens stood strong. The Battle of Marathon was critical in history. It marked the first time the Persian army was no longer seen as invincible, and it says in it allowed for the ushering in of classical Greek civilization. Here's another key point. This all goes together, because once that happened, what is classical Greek civilization? That's called the Hellenistic era. Matter of fact, let's look up that up. Let's do a background check. Classical Greek. I'm gonna look that up. All right. It says, what is considered classical Greek? It says, in the context of the architecture, and culture of ancient Greece, the classical period corresponds to the most of the 5th and 4th centuries BC, the most common dates being the fall of the last Athenian tyrant in 510 BC to the death of Alexander the Great, 323 BC. Right? So what is the classical Greek known for? The Greeks made important contributions to philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Literature and theater was an important aspect of Greek culture and influenced modern drama. The Greeks were known for their sophisticated sculpture and architecture. All right. So, and basically, it's the Hellenistic era, man. Classical Greek is, you say Hellenistic era. Hellenistic era. All right, the 3 centuries of Greek history between the death of Macedonian King Alexander and the rise of Augusta in Rome are collectively known as the Hellenistic period. All right, and then and they're saying that, but really the Hellenistic era was going on when Alexander was conquering, because what does Hellenistic even mean, man? Hellenistic, relating to Greek history, language, or culture from the death of Alexander to the defeat of Cleopatra. During this period, Greek culture flourished, spreading throughout Mediterranean into the Near East, Asia, and century on Alexandria in Egypt and Pergamum, Turkey. Let's see. They don't want to say what it is. Hellenism. All right, what is Hellenism? Hellenism is in practice primarily centered around polytheistic. See, they bullshit. Well, basically, Hellenistic is what? You being turned into a Greek, right? They had this thing, what it was. It was a Maccabees. All right, be a Greek or die. All right, you had I believe what is King Antiochus. He was pretty much everybody had to conform to Greek customs, man. All right, and you'll read that. I believe that's in the first. Everybody had basically that's being Hellenized, man. Everybody during the time of Alexander, he was Hellenizing everybody. All right. So the classical Greek era, what they call classical, that's the Hellenistic era, man. That's when being Hellenized means you're being conformed or you're being turned into a Greek. You're being changed into Greek customs, man. All right. All right, and I mean to this day, the whole world is Hellenized, man. Because as it says, before I had cut it off, it said it allowed for the ushering in of classical Greek civilization. It allowed for the ushering in of Hellenistic era, including democracy, right, which is wicked, and a basis for Western civilization, which today we know the Western civilization is what? America, which is wicked, as we know it, right? So that was the start of that. So that's why these people hold this so near and dear to them. The Nike, the marathon, the Olympics. All right? Like it says, it's their driving force. It's their what? Nike is the principal chariot driver of Zeus. Come on, man. You can't make this up. It's more on this. It says, now Lefko and I were told that this exclamation of Nike was the inspiration for the name of global brand that is Nike. Of course it is. All right. It's not just that, but it's about the goddess as well. For Salaki, let me read this again. Now Lefko and I were told that this exclamation of Nikoman was the inspiration for the name of the global brand that is Nike. However, as you probably know, Nike is also simply the name for the winged Greek goddess of victory. Exactly. All right, because Nike is a Greek word which has something to do with victory, which they made a goddess. All right, who they believe was a goddess, man. It says, which is widely cited as being basis for the company name. Couldn't find anything online that verifies this whole story, with Phidippus serving as an inspiration. The main inspiration was the goddess, man, because the Athenians worshipped Nike, like we just read. And then you had the whole thing where the man said Nika, man, which means we won, we won the battle of Marathon. We beat the Persians, which allowed for the ushering of ultimately the Hellenistic era, man. Alexander the Great conquering, then him dying, and then ultimately, the Maccabees happening, us getting Hellenized. The whole world was Hellenized, man. It says Nike also simply for the name winged Greek goddess of victory, which is widely cited as being the basis for the company name. Read more. It says, regardless of something Greek-inspired first employee, let's see, suggest Nike as a company name to his boss, who reluctantly agreed. All right. I think that's it on that, man. Talk about, the logo. They had the logo of Bingo at Dimension 6, but the iconic swoosh. And they call it, why is it iconic swoosh? Because there you have it. Where's she at? Right here. That's where they get the quote-unquote swoosh. This is where they get the symbol from, man. All right? You can't make this up. So think about this next time you watch sports, because this is real, because you have actual people that die. Because people bet big money on these games. All right, you got people that fight over these games. You got diehard fans that either they love the team, they love the sports, it's something about they just love the culture, they just love to be around it. But it's always something negative happening, whether somebody dying, fighting, going to the hospital, getting shot, getting arrested, You know, it's all type of stuff that happen around, you know, in the sports world, man. You know, all type of things, man, and it's centered around this. And it's centered around this, man. This symbol comes from this, and Nike is big in the sports world, man. All right, that's something else. It is something else too. All right. So boom, you got the Temple of Zeus. All right, and Nike has, you know, Nike is there. All right, we read this. Did we go through this? We went through this. All right, we went through this. So boom. So as you see it, man, and I think I should make this a series, man. But Nike is actually it's a Greek deity. It's an idol, man. And what the Lord said about idols. So let's go through the scriptures, man. We're gonna bring it out, and I'm gonna just close it. I'm gonna end it there. All right. And that's in the first commandment, man. The Lord said, don't worship these idols. This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. It says, I'm sorry, verse 2. It says, I am the Lord, Yahweh, thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. It says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. All right, and when you think about it, man, Nike can be held as a graven image, man. All right, because Nike is what? It's a Greek deity. It's a Greek idol. It says, verse 5, it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. Right? It says, thou shalt not. So you athletes, all right? So now you athletes have a choice, man. All right? All you big time athletes, man, you got to sign them contracts. You got to make deals behind closed doors, man. You have to bow down to these guys, especially Nike. All right? The Lord said, guess what? Exodus 20:5 says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right? And showing mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. All right, so you have a choice, man. So and then, you know, for you people out there, like, stop supporting Nike, man. I know me and my household, you know, we're not gonna support. We're not gonna buy and support Nike, man, at all. We're not gonna support no athletes that's promoting Nike. We don't support nothing that has to do with Nike, man. Nothing at all. Cutting complete ties with Nike, because this is satanic and demonic. It has satanic and demonic origins in this. All right, and it's deeply rooted, man. This is real, and it goes all the way back to the time of Maccabees, when they brought their customs on. They was forcing they brought their customs on us, and they forced it on us, man. As a matter of fact, you know, because this is real. All right, before I get this another scripture I want to get. Before I think I want to get that one. See. I'm gonna just get that one. It'll probably come. That's the spirit, though. All right, First Maccabees. And First Maccabees 1. All right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. And let's go into the history, man, because this is real. This was forced upon our people. All right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. It says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificing to idols and profane the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Keyword, strange laws. Meaning what? Foreign. Meaning not of the Lord, man. All right, it says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, Salakia, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. All right. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. I'm going to read it again. First Maccabees 1:49, to the end that they might forget the law and change all ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. And in the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom. Again, this is King Antiochus. Who is King Antiochus? He is a Macedonian. What is a Macedonian? A Macedonian is an Amalekite when you get into the genealogy and the history. All right? In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah. And he wanted emphasis on it, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many other people were gathered unto them to wit everyone. Remember that again. Then many of the people were gathered unto them to wit. Wit means to what? To be clever, to be sly, to be sneaky, like a fox, like a snake, like a serpent, right? To wit everyone that forsook the law, and so that they committed evils in the land. So that committed evils in the land, man. And drove the Israelites into secret places, even whatsoever they could flee to succor. So it got so bad that Israelites had to flee for safety, man. Because if you wasn't getting down with these pagan Greek customs, you would be killed for it, man. And that was King Antiochus. That was his law. That was his commandment. All right. So these things, so things like Nike, that was forced upon us. So we gotta think about it. Why do our people support Nike so heavy, man? It don't matter what it is. People could be making custom Nikes. It's like anything to do with Nike is cool. Why is that? Because it was forced upon us. It was ingrained in our DNA. All right. And during the time of Maccabee, during the time of the Greek captivity, all right, during the time of the Roman captivity, all the way where it made itself all the way back over here, all right, in Babylon, man, in spiritual Egypt, in the Greco-Roman Empire, which is known as the Great Whore, America, all right, you know, all these things were forced upon us. It was through crafty counsel, man. I'm gonna get that in Psalms, all right, because like it says, in the heathen, then it said the heathen agreed. I'm gonna get that in Psalms 83. This is all crafty counsel, man. This is Psalm chapter 83, verse 2 says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult. All right, tumult, like what is a pit, like a trap. It says, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Who are thy people? Israel, man. That's the Lord's people. It consulted against thy hidden ones. The hidden ones are what? Israel, man. They have said, come and let us cut. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel, right? Because it was a sin for any man to profess himself a Jew, right? To profess himself a Jew, right? It says that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, man. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Jebel and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also adjoin with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah, doing to them as the Midianites unto Sisera. So they're going to something else. But pretty much all these nations have had a hand in Israel's and our demise, man. All right, and the scriptures is reiterating these subjects in a different form. All right, 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers. Hold on, this is something else. I'm going to go back to the other one. All right, 1 Maccabees 1 and what, 40, is it Yeah, 41, 42. All right, First Maccabees 1 and 42. And everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed. Check that out. So all the heathen agreed, just like we read in Psalms 83. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Let's go back to Second Maccabees because it lines up. It just lines up. Second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, right? The temple of Zeus, right? The statue of Zeus in his right hand, Nike, that guards him on Jupiter, defending of strangers as they did desire that they do it in a place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. So this was a very wicked thing, man. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots. All right, so they was dealing with they was doing temple prostitution. All right, it says it had to do with women, with the circuit of the holy places, or temple prostitution, orgies. Just imagine all type of orgies and temple prostitution going on in the temple, man. This is what they were doing. All right, it says, and besides, they brought in things that were not lawful. All type of things. Sacrifices pig on the altar. The altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful. Right. Key thing. Neither was it lawful. Right. Meaning, when these devils was in power, it wasn't. They had laws established saying it wasn't lawful to do what. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And it's like the same thing today. But these devils got crafty counsel with their media. All right, especially with that media, man, because media is like another driving force. All right, because the media, like it touches bases on all these things, like it touches bases on Hollywood, the music industry, the sports industry, the politics, all these different things, man. In a sense, the media is like the police, man. All right, it has more power than the police, because it can change the narrative and push out propaganda, man. So is it lawful for Kyrie to proclaim himself a Jew? Hell no, man. I mean, he can. He ain't doing nothing illegal according to their law, but but they're crucifying this man in the media. All right, they're crucifying him in the media, man. And it's gonna get to a point where, man, these devils are gonna be like, you know what? Fuck it. We just gonna come after these. We just gonna come after. We just gonna shut it all down, push our agenda, and come after these niggas. And that's what we got. Revelation 12. He shall come down with great wrath, man. But I think that was it. All I wanted. I just want to touch on, because you got things heating up. All right, you got things heating up. The truth is getting out there, man. And like it says, the truth is being revealed, right? But let me go to 2 Thessalonians. All right. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Also at verse 1, because it all line up. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1, it says, now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as the day of Yahushua is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. Who fell away? Us, the Israel. We fell away. They came, all right? And that the man of sin be revealed. Who is the man of sin? Esau. All right? Esau is the man of sin. That the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, the son of destruction. He shall live by the sword, the son of perdition. All right? So, he's being revealed right now. All right? Through his through his different entertainment, his different societies, his different, his sports, all that's being revealed, is being exposed, man. All right, Nike is being exposed. It says, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So he want to be like the Most High, right? Because he got Zeus, Nike, all that. So pretty much the sports world today is in direct opposition of the Most High. When you put it together, man, like I said, the athletes today, they worship Nike, which ultimately it helps Zeus, man. Is a worshiper of Zeus, is, the left hand side of Satan. Pretty much is Satan, man. Because all these, everything that's not of Yahweh Shema Shah on left hand side is worshiping, is satanic. All right, it's idolatry. But that's it, man. But this is here go Nike right here. This is what y'all worship, man. This is what this thing is all about. It has been exposed. The sports industry is being exposed, man. And this is why Kyrie. This is why it's not lawful for those big athletes, right, like Kyrie, to come out and say you a Jew, man. All right, you can't say it, man. So I mean, this is the whole thing, all right. So Nike ain't going for none of that, and they have a right to, because if you understand their origin, then you'll say, okay, this had nothing to do with righteousness. It's all wicked. It's all a lie. It's all to do with idolatry, and to force our people. It's pretty much to promote and influence our people into idolatry, into sin, all right, into pagan worship, to sacrifice unto idols, man. So with that, giving our praise to Yahweh, Bashim Al-Shah, Bashim Al-Dash. All right. I mean, this is right here is Nike being exposed. The sports industry is everything is being exposed, and there's more to come. So with that, Shalom.